So you want to make money doing retreats? Well, I have got a ton of information to share with you in this video. Running retreats is my jam. I've been doing it for several years successfully, and the year that I started doing retreats, my income quadrupled. So get ready. This episode has a lot of information. By the time you're done, Neo and I, here, my trusty sidekick, will have given you a lot of comprehensive ways to make money doing retreats, as well as a few choice points, places where you're gonna have to make decisions about how you're gonna move forward. Those decisions are gonna be based on your own personality, your own preferences, your own lifestyle, a lot of considerations that will not only make the retreats profitable, but will also make them enjoyable for you to lead and run and plan. I'm gonna map out a variety of money-making options, and I'll also point out the one that I find to be the easiest and the most profitable. I'm gonna share how far in advance you should plan your retreat and how to start your retreat business making money in the short run right away. I'll also conclude with a free resource that's going to shorten your learning curve and speed up your progress. So first of all, one thing to note is that what I'm talking about in this video is specifically you running your own retreats. So not planning retreats for others, but you leading and organizing and running retreats that you love to do and that you want to do for yourself. So one of the problems that I see most often with people who say, I want to run retreats for a living, is they have a concept or conception of retreats as from a travel industry perspective. So they see themselves taking people on trips to exotic locations, getting amenities and providing amazing experiences. And you can definitely do that. And I do that actually. But here's the thing, that can be a lot of production, that can be a lot of planning, and it puts you in the role of more or less a glorified travel planner. And there's nothing wrong with that, but in terms of the model that I'm gonna share with you today, I like to do events that have that kind of focus on the back end of my breakthrough retreats. Let me explain what I mean by that. The model that I like to use, I call it the big back end model. It took me 6.5 years to figure out this model and get it to this place where it's stable, where it's predictable, where it's easy, where it's fun. And so what it's based on, this two-part concept. The first part is that your retreat is actually not about travel or amenities or luxury accommodations, or although it could have those things, but it's really more focused on delivering a really unique and valuable value proposition, what I call the promise. And I like to say, sell the promise, not the production. So I'm talking about your upfront retreat where people come in the door to your business, the first big experience that they have with you, that it be some sort of what I like to call a breakthrough experience. And then once they've had that breakthrough experience, and I'll give an example in a minute, from that breakthrough experience, then you invite them to enroll in a big back end, which is like a 1 year long, more transformational program. See, once people have that breakthrough experience, they want more. As long as you deliver real value and something really juicy and transformational, people generally want to keep that going, especially once they've bonded with the other people that you've brought together. And by the way, that's why it's so important to have great people at your retreat. You can't just have any old person sign up and join. You want really good people. You want to curate the community. So once they have that incredible experience, then you offer what I call the big back end, which is the long-term monthly recurring revenue program. And that's where you can do the exotic trips. Once people are invested in your program, in your community, then they're way more likely to pony up a trip across the planet or 5 hours away or spend 5 days away once they have those connections, once they have those bonds. So the way that looks in my business is people come into a retreat. It's a 3-day. We do it both live, in person, and virtual. From there, they enroll in the 1 year program. And then in the 1-year program, we have 3 really amazing different trips that we do that are more focused on the experience and the amenities and things like that. By the way, if you like what I'm talking about and you're interested in running retreats as a business, I've got so many more videos. Please subscribe to my channel and check out some of my other video playlists about how to run retreats as a business. Next, I want to talk about how to pick a retreat theme. So we're talking about that breakthrough experience. How do you find the theme for the experience? Well, it starts with understanding your people and their pain points. Your people being the ideal market, the ideal target audience that you want to bring into your retreats. And by the way, I recommend picking people that you want to hang out with, that you want to spend time with, and people who'd want to spend time with each other. So for example, in my business, we bring superstars together. Superstars are people who are thought leaders, educators, coaches, consultants, people who have expertise and want to share that expertise in the world through a coaching or retreat type of model. So we have a lot of fun together. You can imagine that superstars, when they get together, love to tell stories and have a good time, and they're really outgoing generally, very extroverted. So think about the kind of people that you want to spend time with and that would really appreciate what experiences you could put together for them. And that can help you find a retreat theme. So for example, if your audience are entrepreneurs like mine are, then usually a really good theme is something around how to make more money, how to grow your business, how to attract new opportunities and prospects, right? Or let's say you're in the spiritual world. Well, a retreat could be how to have a bigger, deeper, closer connection to God or to the divine. If you're in the personal development world, then a juicy promise, a breakthrough experience could be that people have a breakthrough around some pattern or habit that's sabotaging in their life or in their career, right? So finding that unique thing that people are going to get from attending your retreat is the first and most important thing that you can do. Another question I get a lot is how far in advance you should plan your retreat. Now, I'd love to say that there's one exact answer to that question, but there just isn't. I personally, for my type of retreat, I do a business breakthrough retreat. I say give yourself at least 45 days minimum to fill the event and also plan it, find the venue, and do all that stuff. And I also know people who are planned 6 months in advance or even a year in advance. I think the key question is, do you already have an audience that's hot for your retreat, that's ready for it and wants it and that'll sign up for it? Because in my world, I like to say, sell it first, figure it out later. Find the people, get them committed, and get their registration fees, and then go focus on all the amenities. So give yourself enough time to sell it, and then usually once you've done that and you've collected some money, it's much easier and you have a lot more pressure, which can be a good thing, to get the thing figured out, get it planned, and get it done. Another common question is where to go for a retreat. Now, this is my favorite because I feel like this is the place, the strategic decision or choice point, like I said before, that can make or break your retreat. If you're not imaginative and you kind of just do what other people do, you might think, all right, let me just find a retreat center, get a hotel, and book my retreat there. Now, when you do that, you're going to end up probably having to pay a big hefty deposit. Then you're going to feel a lot of pressure to sell people into your retreat, which can feel kind of pushy. And then people might not sign up and then you might be upset. And this is one of the things that happens all the time. People come to me and they said, well, I tried to do a retreat and then I lost a whole bunch of money on a deposit because no one signed up. Like I said earlier, sell it first, figure it out later. And go ahead and find a venue that's unique and different and special. You can find venues on VRBO, on Airbnb that are so much cheaper than hotels. And now, more than ever, people have really lax cancellation policies. So you can book something like that and have the opportunity to get out of it if you need to. I have a client, his name is Albert Pellichet. He does this awesome event called Man Camp, and he rents a houseboat for, I think it's like $1,000 for the whole weekend. And all of his men actually stay on the houseboat. So he doesn't even have to charge them accommodations. And by the way, that's another thing. My retreat, I do it differently than Albert. We don't include accommodations on our retreat. People pay for the retreat experience, but they pay separately for the accommodations for the retreat. So you don't have to include accommodations or meals even in your retreat if you don't want to. Now, I have other videos about that, so I'm not going to get into that. And by the way, again, reminder, check out my retreat business playlist for more details about how to plan and organize and make your retreats profitable. So Neo and I both agree that the best resource that you can have if you want to go further down this path is my Retreats to Riches roadmap. You can find it at retreatstoRichesRoadmap.com, of course, and it'll walk you through the 7-step process for every single thing you need to think about in advance to plan a profitable and fun and fulfilling retreat. Enjoy.